Camp Randall is a staple of our campus. Every football season, thousands of students and people in the community come together to cheer loudly, have a good time, and enjoy America's most beloved sport. On Badger game days, inside the stadium, you can feel the passion of the fans and the frenzied excitement bubbling around outside of them. As wonderful and incredible as massive sporting events such as this one are, there's a dark truth lurking in the background. Mass gatherings in stadiums are a magnet for people who prey on vulnerable youth. These people use the chaos of sporting events as a venue to perpetuate slavery through prostitution. Sadly, this happens in many sports stadiums throughout the U.S., and the countless acts of sex trafficking that go unnoticed and unreported are chilling. The U.S. Super Bowl is one of the biggest sex trafficking events worldwide. It was estimated that over 100,000 victims were trafficked during the Super Bowl in Miami. That is nearly 3 times the number of undergrad students here at UW-Madison. According to a report by CNN, right now there are roughly 200,000 slaves in the sex trafficking industry in America alone, and 17,000 more will be trafficked next year. Often overlooked by a majority of society, the profit from the sex trafficking industry in some cities is double that of the drug market. New York Times article, In-Depth Report, Details Economics of Sex Trade, reveals that the Atlanta sex economy brings in around $290 million, compared to the drug market, which brings in roughly $117 million. This global phenomena is affecting countless victims who are bought, sold, and used in their home countries, as well as trafficked around between countries for the sole purpose of sexual exploitation. Young girls are the most vulnerable population, especially those who are running away from shattered home lives, trying to escape current situations, or in need of providing for their family. In the U.S., pimps will lure these girls in with the promise of safety, but the reality is they offer quite the contrary. Once people are trapped in the industry, it can feel like the only way out is death. In the CNN broadcast, Selling the Girl Next Door, they talk about the horror some of the victims face. As CNN reporter Lyon states, the only place to put these victims is detention centers, to keep them from roaming back out onto the streets and back into the hands of their former pimps. The sex trafficking industry is a perpetual cycle of devastation that is currently trapping 27 million women and children worldwide. Shocking as it may be, the sex trade is going on right here in Wisconsin, and maybe even on our campus. A couple in Janesville was arrested in January for holding a 16-year-old Waukesha girl captive in their home in order to prostitute her on the internet. According to Wisconsin Department of Justice, every day 10 children are rescued and 100 suspected traffickers are arrested in Wisconsin alone. These numbers are among the highest of all the cities in the investigation. Senator Jerry Petrowski claimed that human trafficking is a fast-growing industry across the globe, and Wisconsin is no exception. Small victories are being won, such as the conviction of sex traffickers like Juan Cortez Meza, who pleaded guilty in federal district court in Atlanta to trafficking offenses involving young women and girls. However, there is so much more work to be done. We, as the youth of our generation, must fight against this modern-day slavery. I urge you to be a part of the solution and join me in helping end sex trafficking in the U.S. and around the globe. There are a variety of organizations that work towards stopping predators, freeing girls in the sex trafficking industry, and providing care for those who have been able to escape it. One group, called the Polaris Project, combats human trafficking by putting their national helpline number on bars of soap and shampoo bottles in hotels that hold large events, which, as we have heard, are known to attract prostitution. I urge you to join with myself and others on this campus and campuses across the U.S. by participating in the End It movement. The End It movement seeks to shed light on modern-day slavery and sex trafficking through awareness, rescue of those caught in the industry, and prevention. One of the main events on our campus is Freedom Week. Freedom Week includes a Bascom Hill banner display, a standing demonstration on East Campus Mall, a speaker from Tiny Hands International, and a Force for Freedom clothing drive. These events will be during the week of April 7th. In order to get involved and be a light on our campus, or to find out more information, go to www.facebook.com/enditmovement.
Will you
stand
for freedom. Will you stand for freedom?